I didn't say it out loud, but in my head I said, God, if that's you, that's what I want. My parents met each other when they were at work, married to other people, and then they had me and divorced their spouses. So there was a lot of stuff in the home where there was a lot of angst, a lot of upheaval. There was no happiness really in my family. It was very rare. And I was just so angry with my life, which led to depression, which led to my anger and eventually my internal anger, my anger toward myself, that I couldn't be the person I wanted to be. And I began to think about suicide. But one of the things my boyfriend used to do is go to these horror films, and I got really scared that someday I would be buried alive. And I thought, well, I really can't safely commit suicide without guaranteeing that I won't be buried alive. So I was processing this. How can I kill myself so that I know I'm really dead, so I won't be buried alive. I won't wake up at a coffin. So I'm pondering, thinking about this as I'm working on something at my dorm desk. And there was this knock on the door. So I went and answered it, and there was these two women, Jan and Kathy. One was definitely older. And they said, hi. They were kind of perky. Hi, can we take a college religious survey? And I thought, okay. I had no idea what that was. So they began to ask me all the questions on their sheet of paper, but the last question was, if you could know God personally, would you be interested? And I kind of argued with them for a bit, but we talked for a long time. And then the younger gal, all of a sudden, she just, for lack of a better term, looked angelic. Her green eyes became brilliant green. She just had such a peace on her face. And I thought, whatever she has, that's what I want. And I didn't say it out loud, but in my head I said, God, if that's you, that's what I want. That's what I want. And I didn't tell her any of that, but all of a sudden, began to feel like sometimes you get hot and flushed. I just began to feel peace, overwhelmed with peace. And then within seconds, I began to feel a love from my father I never had in my whole life. I was absolutely enthralled with this love for my dad all of a sudden. So I don't think I ever said to Jan anything that was going on in me, in my head, but I remember thinking, oh my gosh, this is real. This is real. There's a God. And for the first time in my life, I had a peace. And for the first time in my life, I loved God. Somebody loved me enough to think of this young girl from a no-name town in New England who had nothing to offer God would save me. That's incredible. That is incredible. And he would do that for anybody. It was a life-changing thing. And I have never, ever been the same. You know, it totally changed me. And as a result of that, in the next several years, my brother, his future wife, my mom, and my dad all became Christians because of what God did in me. It was incredible. But I think the biggest thing was I was happy. I really was happy. God just changed me so much that after becoming a Christian, I was no longer buried in my sin. God, he is light. And it's like his light came in order to free me from not only the fear of death, but from death itself. God set me free from what had terrorized me. I was free. Free to live, free to be joyful, free to be really what not only he created me to be, but what I wanted to be. Jesus is the light, and he will illumine your mind and your heart if you ask him to. He will set you free.